Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Thank you, as always, for your tweets. Stevie Nicol's here, as is Shaka Hislop, Jan Aage Fjortoft, and Julien as well. And the first question is for you, Juls, which is a similar theme to how we started yesterday. Jules, fans of smaller teams usually root for bigger teams in the Champions League. Who will be rooting for in the quarterfinals this year?
Can't believe. Did you write this stupid question?
Yes, it was Dan.
You think I've got better things to do? Write questions to you, Jules.
Do you do?
No, it's a fair question, and as you've said, I've been used to cheering for other team when the quarterfinals arrive. I mean, Karim Benzema, as you know, is my boy, so I obviously want Real Madrid to do well. Thomas Tuchel is my guy, so I want Chelsea to do well, and that's the problem. I've got people in every club, so I want them all to do well.
Why is Thomas Tuchel your guy?
He was my guy in Paris. You know that in his first season at Chelsea, after he arrived in Jan, every time I was in the stadium covering the game, he never lost. So every time he was saying, "Are you coming to the next, to the next game?" And I was like, and he kept saying like, "You have to come to the next game. You have to come to the next game." So yeah, me and him, we've got a special relationship. So I want Chelsea to do well too.
Stevie's gonna be sick.
It's okay.
Jules is just trying to get an invite to Thomas Tuchel's party.
I wish I hadn't heard.
Neymar's parties, he's going to Tuchel's parties. That's all it is.
Wow.
You little
Exactly. I'm a party guy, you know.
So is Jules a hanger-on?
Yes, he's entourage.
A professional hanger-on?
Yeah, that's it.
Hey?
Stevie, here we go. Is there such a thing as too much too fast? Can a really big contract make a player not work as hard knowing he's set for the next 3 generations money-wise?
What?
Yes. Actually, it was something I meant to say. You and I had the conversation about the money the other day.
You shouted at me really more than the
conversation. Yeah, I did. And I missed out a very important thing, right? As to why it hurts players.
Right.
You know, you were looking at me going, so you're telling me when a championship team steps on the field, they want to win it more than the big boys, right?
Yes. Yep.
Right. And what I didn't explain to you was, it's not about the day. It's not about the day of the game and stepping on the field, because when everybody steps on the field, you do want to win.
Right.
It's your preparation before it. So when you're Charlie Big Spuds and you're floating around having all your flying here and flying there, when you're not concentrating on what's happening a week from now, it's your preparation that isn't right. And so you can't perform the way you should. That's what happens. That's why when you have too much money, it affects you on the field, because it's your preparation, not the fact that you're not trying any harder on the day. It's what you do leading up to the game that screws you up.
But look at someone like Jules' boy Benzema, who's talked about his preparation and talked about how he's taken things seriously.
The problem is not everybody's got the same. You know, we always talk about Ronaldo and you're talking about Benzema and how they do this and do that. But not everybody's like that.
So, yes, but so that contradicts what you're saying slightly, doesn't it? And you're generalising that every single player in the Championship is thinking and preparing much better than those in the Premier League, where we know that isn't true.
I'm talking about guys who are on too much money who take it easy. I'm not trying to say everybody are winning. I am telling you that Neymar's the best example of somebody who isn't performing because he's Charlie Big Spuds. He's got too much money, likes to fly around, doing this, doing that, having big fancy dan parties, and then when he starts playing, he's not performing the way he should because he's not prepared properly.
Jan?
Yeah, fair point. I mean, I think it's the preparation. It's important here. I mean, I think you just have to look at Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3 to understand how is to be a challenger, how is to be the big time Charlie winning the boxing title at that time. Having said that, I think it's also down to personalities. You see, Cristiano Ronaldo, he got that kind of thing in him. He's very, very professional. So it's not a matter of always money. It's all about your attitude. I think that Neymar, also without his money, he would love a party, wouldn't he?
Jan, Jules wouldn't be invited to it.
He just wouldn't be able to go because he'd have no money.
Jules is going to Tuchel's party. He's like, I ain't going to.
I know plenty of folk with no money that want to party. Can't he go because of skin?
Dan, genuinely, who amongst the panel did you really admire before knowing them through this platform?
Dan didn't really watch football.
It should be Dan.
Dan didn't watch football.
It should be Dan. Who do you admire that you don't like anymore?
If you were a child of the 80s, you grew up watching Liverpool and a constant player in that team, Stevie Nicol.
Always said you'd taste Dan.
Yep, then you meet him. And it all goes south. Juls, again, Paul Pogba was fantastic against Ivory Coast in that middle field. He's always been great while playing with better players. So why is almost the entire panel of ESPN FC and the biased British media blaming him when he plays with McFred, who aren't great?
What?
Seriously.
Listen, we all have different opinions on players and on Paul Pogba especially. I do think that part of the problem has been the team around him at United and also the managers that he's had in those 6 years. I also think that himself, and he would be the first one to acknowledge it, that at times he hasn't been at his best, could have done more on many different levels, and we maybe go back to the hunger and the preparation that Stevie was talking and Jan were talking a few minutes ago and on the show the other day. You can't just blame it on the club or the managers or his teammates either, but I do think that is partly why he has not been performing maybe the way he should have done, but that's not the only reason.
But Dan, if I may say, I think that this time Paul Pogba always do these kind of interviews when he's with France. But I think also this time, instead of being very critical of him, I think he had some good points in that interview. He said, for example, that when he plays for France, he got a defined thing, his defined role in the team. I think that this time he had right, because with Manchester United, and Jules said it, that I mean, different things that he will say that he's been doing big time wrong, but he's been missing a clear defined role when he played for Manchester United. He hasn't played well in so many games, but there are so many games that I'm not sure. I try to find the way he's going to play, what a manager wants him to play, and I'm sorry, I can't see it.
For Stevie, we were discussing last week that Jan paid $130 for a haircut.
Yeah. What?
What would you have done if you had to get a haircut in Norway for $130?
I'd be walking into lampposts because I wouldn't have got it cut. Put it that way.
How much you pay for your haircut, Shaq?
Less than that. Pay 25-ish, somewhere around there.
$25?
Yeah.
With a tip?
30 with a tip.
There you go. You have someone come to the house, don't you, Stevie?
No.
No?
No.
You go out now?
What do you mean no?
You said someone come to the house.
I did nothing.
Yes, you did.
What, 30 years ago?
I thought she came to your house.
No.
Where do you go?
I thought they came and did the dogs at the same time.
It's a 2-minute drive for the house up the road.
Down there? Oh, so you go to their house?
No.
Well,
It's a salon.
oh, is it?
It's 2 minutes away.
Wow.
Yeah, same as Shaka, $30. 23 for the cut and 7 for the tip.
Sounds about right.
Definitely not 7.
Well, I did that the other day. I usually give her 5. But
Yeah, he's not getting another tip for 4 haircuts.
keep the change.
I gave it $7 last time. I gave it $7 back in March.
Yeah, do you remember that?
keep the change.
Hey, Jules, what are you paying?
So Cutting Edge, who are the best barbers in the whole of London, the whole of the UK really, and come in North London here. I paid 15, I think, or 13. Still, the two Nick, they're my brothers, they're the best, so go there. But you know what, in Scandinavia, everything is expensive. I remember going to the Faroe Island with France a long time ago, and we went to a restaurant, a sushi place, and I miscalculated the conversion in the money, and we thought it was really cheap, and we ordered loads of sushi, and it ended up costing us like something like 250 quid for lunch in the Faroe Island because it was so expensive, but the fish was great, yeah, and it was fantastic.
He went off a bit topic.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to get his haircut at the sushi.
That's kind of weird.
No, it's to link up with Scandinavia and the price.
Imagine all the hairs that be in all the sushi. Oh, wait a minute.
And you love sushi, Stevie. Jan.
Somebody begged me the blow dryer. Blowing all the stuff all over the pot. Hey, come on. Try to eat here.
Jan, what was a point in your career when you felt the most fit? Was it through playing matches or pre-season training? And if you could go back and change anything about your fitness, would you?
Yes, I would. I would love to have played in a time when someone told us it was good to have special sessions with special coaches. I remember at the end with Sheffield United at the beginning of Middlesbrough, we got on these people working about your sprinting and the small things. I should have done more than that. I was always just standing after trainings with a young goalkeeper and a young guy making crosses for me. But I think the fittest I was when I got Felix Magath as coach in Germany. We were running all the time. I mean, I was so fit. Unbelievable fit. The problem is I was 33 though, so it was a bit too late.
I would probably say I didn't realise how fit I was until I wasn't fit.
How hard did that
Well, because it's just you're flying. I mean, you're just flying, right?
Right.
You know, you think about it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden one day, I remember it. I was playing Tottenham away.
I was agreeing with you.
I understand fully. Like when you could just run forever. I know what you mean,
We were
Steve.
playing Tottenham away and I was playing wide right. And I couldn't run past anybody. And I was like, I'm knackered. I'm looking at the clock, it was like 10 minutes gone, I'm knackered. I was like, oh. But then I actually did what Jan was talking about.
Right.
Probably about 18 months after I left Liverpool, I ended up getting a fitness coach.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like Jan was talking about doing exercises before and after training, all of a sudden I was back to as fit as I could possibly be. And I was flying again. I ended up going from Notts County back to the Premier League just because I'd got a fitness coach who not only gave me that, but like diet as well. Surprise, surprise. And you know the one thing that stuck out amongst every single thing? I never drank water.
Right.
So the hydration, you can do it all you want, but if you don't hydrate, then it's a waste of time doing the other stuff.
Right.
Which I never drank water.
Have you ever drunk water?
After that I did.
Oh, after
Just for a spell.
A couple of
Probably
weeks.
for another 3 or 4 years, and then after that,
The duration of one
I
haircut.
downed tools and got back to the normal sort of.
Your training
be
obviously
fair-
slightly different, Shaq.
Yeah.
As a goalkeeper, was there a moment in training where you thought, God, I'm old?
Oh yeah, that happened. I remember having a discussion with Brad Friedel and talking about you would dive and you'd feel every bone in your body rattle.
Right, as opposed to normally you just bounce back up.
You just bounce back up, and that's just kind of a sign of things. It's going downhill quickly here. But to Jan's point and about training, well, first of all, just to kind of age myself a bit, when I started playing, there was no such thing as goalkeeper coaches. Even Premier League clubs didn't have full-time goalkeeper coaches. Peter Bonetti, former Chelsea goalkeeper, he made a living going around to clubs doing 1 day a week, and including Premier League clubs. So keepers, they just stuck you in goal, save as many shots as you could, and that was it. That was something I wish I had. And then at Pompey, we had a fitness trainer, and he did a lot of plyometrics work with myself, Aaron Dezieu, one of the
What is
centre
that
backs.
for people who don't know? Me.
Jumping, just kind of working on your springing, just off the ground, and that was probably, I wouldn't say I was at my fittest, but because at this point I'm 34, 35. So I'm really physically on a downhill trajectory. But I really wish between those two, I could have had those from the start of my career. I really, really do.
Bruce at Liverpool and Ray Clemens before him. 1 day a week, we would do a warm-up that was for the goalies.
Right.
Just knocking balls wide. It was part of our warm-up. You knocked a ball high into the goal, the goalie would come and get it, and then you made a run. That was part of our warm-up. And then we'd do some finishing on a Thursday. The rest of the time, they just played five-a-side.
Yeah.
That was it.
That was all the goalkeeping they got on a Thursday.
Wow.
A little warm-up, coming and catching it, and then we'd do some finishing, and that was it. The rest of the time during the week, nothing. Up until about 80, I'm trying to think, Big Joe Corrigan started coming in. About 87, 88 maybe.
Right.
But up until then, I mean, Clem, no, nothing.
On yesterday's
think-
show.
No, I'm just saying that. Yeah, I'm just saying that the fitness coaches and the specialists we kind of missed this in our career. But maybe then we were more independent than the players of today, because now they have a midfield coach, attacker coach, and all that.
Throwing coach.
Hey, substitute coach. Substitute coach.
Yeah, and they,
Can you
they
believe
want to do
that?
everything. Yeah, but I think that sometimes we had to make ourselves more doing that on our own, so we kept that rawness of our game. That maybe that was an advantage for our generation.
On yesterday's show, Don was asked to pick a side from the best ESPN FC to the worst, and he picked you last, Stevie.
Well, I wouldn't pick me either. Hold on a minute. Why would you pick me? I can't run.
Yeah.
I can barely get above a walk.
Yes.
I can't play with my glasses on, so I can't see. So why would you pick me?
Yeah. I suggest maybe you could go in goal.
You've got the old W, Stephen.
Yeah.
You've shown that us many a time.
There you go.
There you go.
There it is.
Have that, Donnarumma.
As long as I can keep my glasses on and go, I could do
Then
that.
it'd be all right. Who are you picking, Jules? Yourself or Stevie?
Is that a real question? We are Stevie right now to play football.
Speaking of players that are past it, Jules, is the Eden Hazard transfer one of the top 10 worst ever for Real Madrid? Well, it's the worst. That's easy.
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, I think, remember we did, I think maybe 18 months ago, me and Ali did the top and flop. I can't remember. I'm sure producer Pete would remember. And I tried to defend Eden because I like him and I didn't want to be too mean. So I tried to say, but listen, look, you know, the injury, this is not his fault. If Meunier kicks his ankle and then he had to get the surgery and then they put that plaque in it and it's not working. And now I have to say, and Ali gave me, and rightly so, quite a lot of stick for it, but I had to defend him back then. Now it's too hard, I think, because the stat the other day during the Clasico, remember, there's been 7 or 8 Clasicos since he joined Real Madrid. He hasn't played a single minute. In 8 Clasico, how is that even possible? I think, yeah, he has to be the worst, or if not the worst, one of the worst in the top 3 transfer ever made by Real Madrid, which on paper was even if he was 30 or getting near 30, it was still a good move even at that price, but unfortunately hasn't turned out to be that well at all.
There is a sad man that is kind of forgotten, Jules, by Real Madrid, is Luka Jovic. I mean, I loved him when he played for Eintracht Frankfurt, then he came back, and then he came back again to Real Madrid, and he never get games, he never get minutes. He's a great finisher. Hopefully he hasn't lost all his confidence and he will come back, because I think he's a great goal getter.
So he must be horrible being Hazard though. If
But he's rich, he don't care, Stevie, does he? He's not motivated.
well, that's not all. No, that's not all. That's not fair. That's not always
Well, that's what you said earlier.
What are you talking about?
You said they're rich, these players, don't care about the game anymore.
Oh, really is. Lumping everybody in. Right? Yeah, every single footballer doesn't care. No, because, I mean, Jules is talking about that injury he had. Unfortunately for him, it looks like he can't adapt and play somewhere else. You look at Barnsley. Barnsley, at his best, was the best player in England. Not even close. And then he did his Achilles.
Yep.
And he couldn't do what he used to do. But he adapted and he came inside and showed what a great football player, not just a guy with pace that would go by people for fun. If Eden Hazard is in the same position, and Jules probably knows him better than any of us, I'm assuming
Probably doesn't.
this
Pretends that he
guy's not going to be feeling very good about himself when he can't do what he used to be able to do. And every man and his dog is jumping on him, giving him pelters. Now, it's turned out to be a horrendous transfer for Real Madrid, but I'll tell you what, and maybe Jules will enlighten us, he must feel awful.
Jules doesn't know him. He pretends he knows Thomas Tuchel and he was just in the crowd when they won games.
I do the whole Hazard family. All the brothers I know.
So
I
is
know
that-
all the
is that
Hazard
the
family.
case,
They've
Jules?
got loads of brothers.
Is that the case then?
Yeah, no, you're right, Stevie. And And I know he's partly to blame. And we had the argument back then when we did those top and flop with Ali, in the sense that he's not helping himself when he turns up for training 8 kilos or 10 kilos overweight, and that he struggled to lose it. And we know he's not the best at training overall anyway. He's never been, even when he was a kid at Lille. So that hasn't helped. But yeah, he's feeling terrible because he wanted to work. This was his dream move. He wanted to play for Real Madrid since he was a kid, because Zidane played there and because of all of that. And he never really got going. And that's a really sad situation. Even if you blame him and his fitness and his lifestyle or anything you want, or his focus and his all of that, of course that's right. We can't deny that. But there's a lot of things that also were not his fault, like the Meunier tackle or kick or whatever that injured him when he was actually playing, when he was starting for the team. And that yeah, of course that makes it sad. I don't know what's going to happen in the summer, if he wants to leave, if he doesn't, if he can stay or not, when he will be fit again, now that he's going to have surgery again on the same ankle. But there's a lot of things also that I think were out of his hands, and that has made him really sad, and the whole story really sad as well.
That brings us to the end of extra time.
By the way, just before he finishes, he was sniggering in the middle of that. I'm talking serious about Hazard, and he's got that silly wee smile on his face.
I was smiling at something else, actually, Stephen.
Yeah, well, I could just see that wee snigger. How insensitive! How insensitive can you be? Just because a guy's got some dough.
Yeah, that is bad.
Just because a guy's got some dough, you don't care.
That's true.
You don't care.
No, it's not big spuds.
You don't care.
That's it. No heart.
Insensitive.
Sensitive.
Don't use that.
He's got a heart. He's got a heart the size of a pea.
Size of a pea.
Size of a pea.
Pea heart.
Why don't you just go off and kick Shaka again?
Start spreading the news.
Sensitive.
That is it. That brings us to the end of ESPN FC. No sniggering, very serious today. What? Oh, are you back tomorrow? Snitching away?
No.
Yeah.
No. If you're here, I hope not.
Oh no, he wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
He was laughing at you.
Money, root of all evil, money.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.